kind of like people forget about Crystallis's Razor as an option, and then when it does show up, they're like, oh, huh. But the interesting thing about this Liquid versus Paravision dynamic is they both have very good Razor players in their carry, and we could actually see it become a lot more contested than the rest of the tournament.
I don't think first phase, I feel like if you're letting Magnus through, okay, they think the Earthshaker is the counter. I mean, it's the combo break, right? It stops the blink in, the initiation, the skewer back with a fissure from long range, or you can blink in instant echo. We saw it earlier, they did not win with it.
Yeah, can we address the Earthshaker to carry flex? Because it has not worked on this main stage. Every single time we've seen carry Shaker, it has failed. So hopefully when we do see this Shaker, it's just a Nisha hero.
Yeah, it's just a little weird because like if you see the opportunity, you will put a carry, but I agree with you 100% that as a carry, this hero is very underwhelming. It gets outscaled by just about everything. We did see the game where they just played against BetBoom, some simple Ursa, right, was all they needed to outcarry this one. So if you are going to be playing this in the carry position, you have to have something entirely catered to this hero not being the carry, and your mid laner being the carry, and maybe your off laner, but teams have had a hard time finding that hero to make this one work, so I definitely agree with you, but it does seem like if you put this hero as your mid laner and it's like kind of like locked in as first pick, that is also a weakness.
I love the Jakiro respect we see coming out from Paravision. That first series of the day left a mark.
I mean, that's two insane heroes banned out in the first phase that aren't the usual suspects, that aren't the most contested supports of the patch. Like, that really is to say how good of a performance he's been putting on here.
I think you just get him Lich. If these two heroes are banned, Lich is one of the answers to Magnus that we've seen. BetBoom just did the same thing.
Yeah,
you have the instant cancel on his combo with the Sinister Gaze, but then also Magnus is pretty much all physical damage. Like you're going to build a lineup around physical damage with this hero, and the armor helps you with that.
They've also just been feeling themselves on their special hero pools. Like, other teams are not touching this Oracle with a 10-foot pole, but Liquid are very happy to play it. They're very happy to run it when they need a hard dispel.
I do love these support bans by Paravision so much because it does, as you guys mentioned, put them in a position where you're not getting the heroes that you genuinely do want to have on Insania. He's going to have to pick something a little bit different. The Rubik versus the Magnus, this one's a classic. I believe they ran this earlier.
They did, and it didn't work.
It didn't win. Yeah.
Do you think there's an element of they think that just didn't work because it was BetBoom and that Paravision is not as good at the Magnus as BetBoom is, and they think that we can make it work against this team in particular?
This was their exact opening versus a Magnus, by the way. So,
and it didn't work.
To me, it just shows that they feel like this is not the reason why they lost that game. It wasn't the opening. It may have been something later on in the draft, or perhaps they just felt like there was a moment or two in the game that they could have changed to make it work. And Paravision will pick up the Elder Titan. I did love watching Team Spirit play this hero. It looked incredibly good. And once you start stacking more teamfight ultimates, it seems like you have a higher chance of winning. We saw in the last game, Liquid are running Magnus plus Tidehunter. That looked great. Now you have ET plus Magnus. You're just stacking teamfight right now.
Maybe the problem that they identified was the follow-up to this Earthshaker plus Rubik, because the follow-up was Dawnbreaker plus Oracle. And those heroes, if things start to go wrong, they go very wrong, because you're not getting enough damage or explosive power out of your support duo, not enough team fight, and if you lose a laning stage, you're in a bad situation. Maybe if they pick incredibly strong laners here for Saberlight, maybe something like his Primal Beast that he's been popping off on, it could be different.
I like that one.
And it's banned, because Paravision likes that one as well. Yep, so he'll play something different. We saw him yesterday on the Tidehunter, of course, potentially. It's an option. I know that you don't like to see the Willow on the side of Paravision, Mira.
I don't mind seeing the Willow now, actually. The issue with the Willow, the last series that they played versus BetBoom, was it came out very early without any real stun coming from anything else, and Paravision found themselves in a situation with no disable outside of their Willow. But because you have this Magnus, because you have this very hard lockdown into a potential very strong lane with the skewer back into the Bramble Maze, it works here.
Okay, they're going to go for the Beast. Plays well with the Rubik. I mean, this lane is very strong, and I also feel like it's a semi-carry, like it's a scaling hero that you pick with Earthshaker, and it sets up for picking something mid, like Sniper, Lina, who really like playing with the Beast.
I mean, I can't unseen this from like the clip we had earlier where Cap was doing with them, where they had to make their own profiles. Sania just said, you're going to play Beastmaster for the rest of the year type of thing. But it does make a lot of sense. And they're actually taking, the crowd is loving this one.
Yeah.
The Techie's coming out.
Do we love this one? Because we just saw his record 0-2. It's not a great, great success record there.
To be fair, I think the 2 losses are Paravision.
Our 9 class, yeah.
So Paravision has lost every game with the Techies in it.
Okay, what makes this a good Techies game?
It does damage. It's a lot of damage. There's really good stun setup for the Techies to get all of his mines off. Remember, the mines amplify magic damage and it stacks. So there's a lot of magic damage from the Beast and the Earthshaker that are going to be stacking. Also, the way that people play Techies now is they go for the level 10 talent to lower the cooldown on the ult. And you place mines like old Techies, so you're controlling areas of the map. It's quite hard, actually, to play Magnus into this, looking for the blink skewers. You never know where the hell those mines are.
So yeah, for sure, those are all really great points, but I think the big reason for this Techies pick is because they want to lane it versus Elder Titan. Techies actually hard counters ET on lane because with your Taser, you just dispel his Astral Spirit buff. And if you take away his Astral Spirit buff on lane, then this hero is just a range creep, basically. He doesn't do that much. And I think it was actually Liquid at TI that ran Techies as a counter to Elder Titan on lane, and it worked. So they're just taking a page out of their very old playbook. But this tells me they're just doubling down on strong lanes. The 5 Rubik, though, I mean, because you're definitely throwing this Techies versus ET.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
I mean, Insania loves this hero. You can't keep that. Can't forget that, right?
Maybe
he is. No, he is. He's master tier on this hero.
No, I mean,
he loves it.
Maybe this is the adjustment that they decided that they needed to make, because they picked this exact opening earlier, but it was not an Insania Rubik. It was a Boxy Rubik. Maybe they feel like Boxy needs to be on a more impactful hero, and then just let Insania be the Magnus counter.
You know, this indicates that this is a carry shaker because the only way that you can run a weak support like Rubik on the safe lane is you have a very strong hero like Shaker with very high stats and a lot of disable that doesn't need that much babysitting.
Yeah.
So it's just looking like a carry shaker run back, and I do have to reiterate, carry shaker has not won a single game on the main stage here.
I agree. I hope they don't, though. I hope that they just play it mid versus the Earth Spirit, and we go back for like the Mickey Nature's Prophet or something, who can also get the Rubik through the laning stage. That's something else that maybe they could do. And I just want to avoid the carry shaker at all costs, I think. Because I agree with you. I don't think it's going to win you games. And the heroes that you might want to pick mid, like the Lina and the Sniper, potentially to enable this carry shaker, I don't really like that first Mag and Earth Spirit, who can just like gap close really early.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't fall into the trap, or they have something cooked up that makes this carry shaker work, but right now, I'm currently not a believer.
But am I crazy? Is Invoker still in the pool?
Yes, it is.
Well, I think that would be a good pick for Team Liquid. It's a scaling mid that doesn't lose to Earth Spirit or Magnus. Like, it's not the same thing as the Lina and the Sniper. You don't care as much if you get skewered in. You have play options.
Depends, of course, what Paravision does not want to play into, what no one doesn't want to play into, as
Still need a Crystallis hero, though, right?
Yeah, that too.
Morphling and Medusa are also still in the pool, and there is an ET. Is the ET enough to dissuade from Morphling? Because 23 Savage on panel yesterday said that you still pick Morphling anyway if you're a Morphling player.
That's the downfall of the carry ego.
Yeah, that's... doesn't surprise me 23 said that.
But there is actually a lack of strong, like, instant disable on Paravision. Like, yes, they do have the Brambles, they do have the Terrorize, they do have the RP, but those are things that really squishy and slippery heroes like Storm Spirit and Pug can take advantage of.
Yeah.
That's a good last phase ban.
Could be good.
After watching that last game in the last series, letting the last pick Nature's Prophet through, that should never happen again against Team Liquid.
I mean, I'm having a hard time finding out what Crystallis wants to play. Gyro's in the pool? No, it's not.
banned.
So yeah, I mean, he's just gonna go for a Drow Ranger of all heroes.
And I think Drow should win this lane quite easily. Actually, against Beastmaster, the X factor of this lane though is the Techies versus ET.
Yep.
Like, I mean, this reactive taser hard counters Elder Titan.
It sounds terrible, yeah.
It feels so bad to play into that. Now, is this Techies enough to win the lane for Beastmaster? We'll have to see, because if Boxy cooks here on the Techies, this Drow is in danger of like getting rotated on from the mid laner, getting dove by the Beastmaster at level 6, getting kicked out of her own lane when the tower drops.
Yeah, I agree, and I think some options you can look at for Liquid. I'm looking at either Spectre carry, which might be too weak, or Storm, potentially mid, versus Air Spirit could be good.
What about a Tiny to toss?
That's okay
Drow?
too.
Then just throw the Shaker mid, please, and pick a carry.
I mean, then it would be like Spectre versus like, versus Drow Magnus. You don't really care too much about a lot of things in this game, except for the laning stage. You will care a bit about that. It will speed up your game. It will give you a hard carry.
Spectre Rubik sounds like a rough lane, though.
It's not a good lane, that's for sure, but you are last picking a carry. With a lot of carries being banned, your options are going to be limited to what's good this game.
Well, they don't have a lot of time left. It's about 10 seconds left into the bonus time. It will be that Spectre Rubik lane. That's a good call.
I mean,
how bad is it if you're saying, okay, Rubik Spectre lane is going to be sad? How sad?
That sounds like a miserable lane. Like, truly, there's no way to defend against the skewer back. There's no way to disengage as a Spectre. There's no way for the Rubik to save Spectre if she gets skewered back into Brambles. We've seen 9 class cook very hard on his 4 Willow if they are weak lane. Like, we've seen him he killed Pure on lane 3 times yesterday in that series. They did lose, but very exploitable safe lane here by Liquid.
Yeah, but I think when they go into this one, they at least realize that even though they do potentially lose that lane, Rubik can leave the lane. As long as Spectre gets 6, she's going to come back into the game through leaving the lane and getting kills and the rest of their team being active.
Yeah, and also Mickey had like 50 kills in the last series, so I feel like they're very confident in their ability to get through the lane just because they're playing so well.
Both teams have been playing incredibly well. Both teams here in the grand finals looking to lift that very trophy. It will be a best of 5, and we're heading into the first game of this brawl together with SPG and Cam.
What a journey to get here. On one side, you have Liquid, who barely scraped by in the groups, going on to face the best 4 teams in the world in elimination. Falcons, Spirit, Bedboom, going the distance every time. But the last one, standing in their way, a new challenger has arisen. One that dominated the group Liquid was in, one that showed tenacity and strength in the upper bracket, one that is an amalgamation of new faces and very old. The final boss of the bracket, Paravision.
This series represents a lot of Dota history in the making. It represents a lot of legacy on the line, chances for redemption, chances to forge your own destiny and prove that you are the best in the world. You can spend a lifetime to have this moment in front of you, and it can disappear in an instant. To say this crowd is excited, I think, is an understatement. When these grand finals go the distance in Southeast Asia, it is its own special treat.
That's right, we love coming to Southeast Asia for Dota events. You guys are the best fans in the world, and you guys are gonna prove it here in this grand finals. Game 1 is underway between Liquid and Paravision. Avery, this should be quite the treat. I honestly did not expect that this would be our finals matchup on either side.
I think there's gonna be a lot of surprises in this series.
And Insania is going to experience an early surprise, and that is a smoke gank into first blood, and that goes to no one. Paravision already settling their mid in a good spot.
Wasting no time to build the advantage here. Before we kick off this series, Austin, you know I am a sucker for Dota history.
Of course.
You know I love the storylines these players go through. A lot of people have talked about this matchup, and the panel highlighted as well. The mid lane matchup here between arguably 2 of the best mids, if not the 2 best mids in the world, Nisha and No One. I want to take you back 6 years ago. The last Tier 1 LAN that No One won on that old Virtus Pro squad was the Kuala Lumpur Major. That grand finals went the distance 3-2, and it was against an up-and-coming carry player known as Nisha on Team Secret. So 6 years later, No One will face one of his old demons again in a chance to maybe add to his legacy, to continue it on here. He is no stranger to this matchup, and this game has been a long time in the making.
It really is poetic that No One comes back into play as Nisha, the most dominant mid in the world. No one has a chance to challenge him as he did those 6 years ago against Nisha, against Team Secret. 7 years ago when he was matched up against Sumail all the time. A lot of history going into this matchup. We see for the safe lane of Paravision, Chrysalis, we already heard him talking about how You know, he wants to right a wrong of the past and be able to win a grand finals where he failed to do so with Team Secret at TI. Paravision trying to make this work. It is a Drow Ranger Elder Titan lane. Now this one is going to be dangerous for the lane perhaps, but the overall Boxy getting a little bit low to call is beating him down. A second kill for Paravision.
Gotta remember, this is in theory Liquid's answer to the ET on the lane. The
And almost a third. Mickey will slip away, dodging out of sight. No, he got him anyway. 9 class nails the Shadow Realm right as it was fading away. Gets the hit for a third kill.
This is not a lineup you want to fall behind on if you are Liquid right now. You picked a lot of early game, a lot of early skirmishing, magic damage, just raw fighting power, low cooldowns. You fall behind in this laning stage, you might never get a chance to use that. There's a reason this Techies has not won a game at this event. This is a hero that's very susceptible to how that early game goes for you and how much you can snowball. It's gonna put some more pressure on Nisha.
I love that.
Bail out this game if the side lanes are not going well.
Oh yeah, that is already a potential problem that Nisha's gonna have to solve. I love that Paravision are the ones striking first, because normally you think about it, we get to these grand finals, it's the lower bracket team who comes through. They already played a game today, they're warmed up, they're ready to rock, they already have a bunch of momentum behind them. It usually feels like that lower bracket team is the team that strikes first, particularly in the laning phase. And Paravision showing they woke up nice and early, they're ready to rock against Team Liquid, and they're taking this game against them nice and early. But is that something that their lineup has to do? We saw the counter pick in the Spectre against this Drow Ranger. I mean, that is a rough matchup, right?
Absolutely one that's difficult to deal with, but you do have a lot of team fight to back up the Drow in this game, a lot of AoE control. It's tough to dive into this Paravision lineup. And that's kind of what they're banking on. When you go in deep, you're going to get stuck in the brambles, you're going to get stuck in RP, magnetized, ET stomp, and the second you overextend, you're going to get massively punished with the AoE control. So Liquid need to pick their positioning well, they need to pick their targets well, and make sure those jumps count. Do not want to end up overextending in this kind of game. And I agree, starting out strong and confident here in this game one, it's a good sign if you're a Paravision fan, because you do not want to give Liquid momentum.
Boxy trying to finish him off with the help of the board. They've got him. And Saberlight, he's going to kite out to Collis. He still has Magic Wand charges. It's a double for Liquid.
The Techies pick proving its worth here early as Liquid strike back, swing this lane right back into their favor, get the punish they were looking for. It's going to be a big setback for Crystallis in this early game on a hero that, yeah, you can jungle a little bit, but ideally you want to get the XP off the lane before you go there. Otherwise, it's a slow trajectory in that jungle for the Drow Ranger. And Mickey, if he has not been the most active carry this game, he is probably the most active carry in the world right now, and he's just going straight Urn on this Spectre. He's going to be involved in the early kills. Looks like just Urn into Blade Mail build-up. This is not a carry hero that's going to AFK and give you the time to just farm Ancients to your heart's delight.
Yep. And that is somebody that we're probably going to be talking about a lot when it comes to discussing Liquid and their chance to be able to win. A come through the gate for Insania, trying to rout Crystallis, but he's going to be met by a rotation from no one. Saberlight's aggression will not work. He's attempted a TP away, and it works! They all get out on the side of Liquid, forced a rotation out of the enemy mid laner, and still manages to get away. Boxy, dive out, he's out. Everybody gets away.
Big committal from Paravision, sending this Earth Spirit top before the level 6 is available for no one. He's unable to catch anything, and Liquid just bail. That was turning, again, into being an overextension into this lineup that can take advantage of it. Didn't have that Spectre to help you on the deep dive. Dangerous move for Liquid, but very quick decision-making bails him out of that situation. And they get some space for the Shaker, space for the Spectre.
The punishment is going to be there. Bramble on one, skewered into another one. Mickey taking a lot of damage. Damage is all it will be. But that's good enough for Paravision. Anything to keep Mickey down. As long as they can put Crystallis in the driver's seat, get him a net worth advantage over Spectre, maybe this matchup can be forgiven.
I really like how they're playing this offlane on Paravision. With the Dark Willow Mag, they're exerting a lot of pressure, just continually chipping away at the Spectre's HP. This is going to force reaction and a committal of resources from Liquid to stay near Mickey or keep Insania on that lane. And every time you can deny that Spectre solo XP, you feel great about it. Rune Battle goes to 9 class bottom, but no one. He's the one receiving some pain right now.
Boxy thought about going for the blast off, but nah.
That was a level 6 advantage for Nisha. Did extract that ultimate first, especially with that Earth Spirit rotation top. He got there well ahead of his counterpart, but unable to find the big kill in the river. Now no one. He will get his Magnetize online. No teleport available for the Earth Spear. This is still a big spell you want to use in the early game as much as possible, and you got to look towards no one in this game to be the big playmaker for Paravision, particularly in the first 20 or 30 minutes here.
In that decision-making process, no one looking at these side lanes, which one would you prefer him to rotate to? Do you want to shut down the Spectre, or do you want to build up your Drow Ranger?
It's a tough decision. I think normally you'd want to go to the Beastmaster lane. Anytime you can go into the push hero's lane, shut him down, send him back to base, delay that Helm of the Dominator, you feel really good about it, right? Because that tempo just goes out the window.
Yep.
The downside is if you make those moves later on when the Spectre has the global ability, you might be going into that with a numbers disadvantage, so you're going to have to bring a lot of resources to that fight. But I think the Beastmaster is the juiciest kill on the map right now if you can convert. You will take the Spectre every time, though, if you feel like that move is available.
And Mickey only just now getting to level 5, so that global capability is not online for a bit.
Again, you just want as much experience going into the Spectre and the Beast right now as you can without leaving them too susceptible. Boxy making a move on to
Really
Ducals.
nice, his TP. The Courier's coming out with it, but the Stomp goes out. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Ducals in trouble. Boxy, nice little body blocking there. Hoping to get a neutral creep. Deny will not happen.
So they've taken decent advantage of this Techies Elder Titan matchup. Started okay for Ducals, but he's feeling the pain right now. You just can't ever man up into that taser with the disarm, the dispel, and the stacks continue to grow in this liquid triangle. Boxy's been very efficient up here. 8-minute power rune.
No one unlucky challenges Nisha for the bottom rune. Doesn't get there. Night Class finally gets off the cliff and goes to try and stop the regen rune from being picked up. He's going to have to deny it. If he wants to stop Nisha from picking it up, it's going to be Boxy who grabs it now. Nisha in some trouble. Magnetize goes out. Insane is trying to help him. Echo Sam goes out, but it's not quite enough damage. He needs one more Enchant Totem or roll over into the Beastmaster and the Magnetize and finish him off. No one keeping his distance away from some of these heroes, stacking up the Magnetize over and over. He finally dies, but what a damage trade. No one got a kill and 3 heroes low with that ult.
Power of the Magnetize and all the AoE behind him. It's tough to go through these brambles in the early game before you have some of the maneuverability or BKB. Saberlight gets the turnaround kill.
Instant skewer back. Mickey, he has to jump out of this one. No, he jumps back in. Still trying to go for it here. Mickey chasing after Ducals now, trying to get a support kill out of all this one. Chrysis, meanwhile, matched the rotation, tried to do what he could. He does manage to save his other core in DM, but it's still a kill for Liquid.
These are just not fights DM's equipped to deal with right now. He doesn't have the blink on the mag. You're not contributing a lot in terms of the spell power because you have 3 points in the Empower.
Nails Saberlight, and Saberlight does not have a roar. Nice gust timing. The blast off denied.
It's a big pickup. Paravision were losing a little bit in these river trades, but they will absolutely take that Beastmaster kill. It's going to have to be a walk back out to... Well, I guess his teleport is up now. He lingered so long in mid, it's back off cooldown. At least Saberlight can go back to that. Helm of Dominator is up for this Beast, so some of the push moves are available for Liquid if you can get those smokes going, backstab a tier 1, shadow step into that. You're pretty happy, right?
Right.
That's the kind of move you're looking for. You did get Urn charges off of that kill from Mickey as well, which is really what he was looking for there. Just get this Urn going, buff up your next kill attempt, stay out on the map. And he will instantly step top onto the Drow.
Going after Chrysalis. Doesn't have too much help. Boxy's coming in from the side. Needs a slow here.
Oh,
He lands the bomb. Chrysalis, there's no way out of this one. It seems like there's just no TPs. Oh,
No
wait. He juked left. They lost track of him, and he's away.
What a massive TP. He was absolutely screwed there. 4 heroes from Liquid converging top. Spectre ultimate committed. You get nothing for it.
Yeah, they had the stun available from Boxy in that blast off. They just needed to see where he went.
Upside is you're still converting this move into a tower for the Beastmaster. You commit this many heroes into Saberlight's lane, you want to get an objective out of this. And is this a push Paravision want to respond to? Looks difficult without the blink on the Magnus.
Or do they just try and shut down Liquid, who's being greedy right now? They're playing for the other lanes while pushing this at the same time. Mickey.
Just nothing to go on up here. You're only seeing the summons. The Skelly boys are going to do the heavy lifting here. Easy tower for Saberlight, and it's going to open up that mid rotation, the backstab into that tier 1 mid. That's a classic Beastmaster move you have to be thinking about in this game. If you're Paravision, you ideally don't want to be the ones getting jumped. You want all the fights to start with your Earth Spirit selecting the targets going in. That Blade Mail is close for no one, but he's not there yet. He needs a couple more 100 gold.
Nice ward from Ducalis. They know exactly what Saberlight wants to be up to in this situation. He's taking the tower. He's going to be hanging out in this jungle area, whether it's threatening the tier 2 or rotating into mid.
They're protecting this area a lot with their supports, just backing up the Earth Spear, trying to get him to this big Blade Mail fighting item. Zany will kick him back.
Yeah, that'll be nice for clearing out waves. Fate Bolt and a kick. One shot any wave.
You're gonna have to make a call though. Like, do you try and smoke into this Beastmaster, kick him out of your jungle, or do you just accept trading on the map and playing defensively for that backstab mid? Because you're giving a lot of space to Saberlight right now. And the options are open for him.
12-minute power rune. No one. He tries to go top, instantly mid by Nisha. Oh, the Terrorize might be able to bail him out here, but no. Gets kicked on by Insania. That stolen kick helps him get a kill, and they're going to catch 9 class as well. Saberlight coming in from behind the Earth Splitter. It goes out, but doesn't find much purchase, and Crystallis is slowed down. In the river, goes too far out there, and Liquid. A massive punishment for them, a 1-for-3 trade.
It's a beautiful fight from Liquid. Just baits Paravision in a little bit, and then that Beastmaster, he's right behind you with all the summons, all the bonus damage. No way you're taking that fight and overextension on the Drow Ranger. And of course, the biggest factor here, that Blade Mail arrives for no one right as he's getting gone on, but he doesn't really get to use it. Sure, Magnetize does an okay amount of damage, but it's not no one getting the fight he wants on this mid hero. It's Liquid dictating the tempo, dictating the pace, and getting the jumps with that blink on the Shaker. Mid tier 1 dead just like that. A lot of space disappearing from the map. You run these Magnus Elder Titan lineups, you need these camps available.
I will say, just like matchup wise, I feel like it's a very bold move to go for the Drow Ranger on the side of Paravision, considering Liquid's playstyle this lower bracket run of theirs, right?
It's
you know they're going to
scary.
get super aggressive. The Drow Ranger is a very fragile hero.
Especially in the early game, and if you fall behind, that road of recovery can be long and arduous, especially compared to the rest of his hero, right? Things like the Razor, the Gyro, that Crystallis has really prioritized and made his signatures that I'm sure we will see at some point in this series.
Oh yeah.
Those heroes are way more robust in that early game. Even if they get ganked a couple times, they farm the Ancients a bit faster, they can join the fights and contribute more on the spell power. This Drow is really susceptible. Liquid continue to keep the pace up, take away the space. He's going to be in trouble. Especially if you lose some Roshans early on.
Yeah, that one's going to be rough. Saberlight with drums and a Helma Dom is going to take the early Rosh here.
Just such an efficient move.
Not in a position to defend it. They'll get power runes out of it. That'll be no one bottling up a shield rune. But will not be happy about the extra life. They're going to start making their way down here.
They're smoking this Magnus Blink reveal. They'll actually just hit the neutral, so giving up on the play. There was an Invis Shaker in between anyway.
Man, they're baiting out mid right now. It's like you want to use this Blink Dagger reveal, like catch Nisha, and instead, they're just going to be too late here. Maybe at best, Paravision might be able to get here and still catch some Liquid heroes. After all, it's not all of the heroes.
That's maybe your best play. Force Liquid into you and then use all your counter initiation to win a team fight.
Well, I lied. It is now all 5 from Liquid. One through the gate, another one TPing in. And they're going to smoke back Liquid, knowing some heroes are here. They spotted 9 class. They're going to go for him first. He's dead. Paravision on the retreat now.
Yeah, you just have to get out. That is not a play you want to force. You go in with that RP, it might just be a death sentence. As Paravision continue just not finding what they want on the map right now. Liquid controlling the pace here, ramping up their advantage. They're going to invade enemy Ancients right now.
Oh, a miss! A rare miss from Nisha. Saw the Drow Ranger for a moment, didn't blink far enough. Instead, they're going to be able to find purchase onto no one. Instead, a shield rune. That'll protect him a little bit. Does manage to get out the Magnetize for DM to fall through. 2 supports dead, and now maybe a core on the table as Saberlight's going to be terrorized back into the rest of Paravision. 3 for the one, this time to Paravision.
9 class in the right place at the right time, gets them that big Beastmaster kill, take the push hero off the map, and protect your Ancient area. It all starts with that missed Echo Slam. Wish you could take that one back and have it for the fight.
Nisha, now he finds his mark, but he doesn't have the Echo Slam. That's why he needs Mickey. Yeah. Mickey will provide the extra bit of oomph needed.
So they kind of get what they came for in the end anyway. Gave up more than they wanted, but you still have that Aegis intact on the Shaker. You can still look for these easy small plays. Find anybody on the map, send that Spectre in on top of it. It's probably a kill right now. Not enough defensive capability for Paravision. Need to stall this game out. We did see the power of their counter initiation in their team fight though, right? If you overextend into their side of the map, you give the vision for the big counter initiators to throw down the AoE control. That's where that team fight can get a little spooky for Liquid. Still, more Urn Charges going into Mickey's pocket, and he's going a little old school too, going back for the Radiance here. Very classic Spectre build-up. There are some fancy things you can do nowadays with like Bloodthorns and all this weird jump magic burst damage with illusions, but...
Yeah, why not that build? Why not the Manta Diffusal or the Orchid Manta builds? Why not those?
It comes online a little faster in the really early game with the Urn Blade Mail.
Okay.
It's maybe a little stronger if you're going to go in and tank a bunch of damage. You tank up a lot faster too. And, you know, Radiant's mischance here could give you some extra benefit going against this Mag Drow lineup.
I mean, I do think that's legitimate, right? It's not just Mag Drow, but it's also an Elder Titan, right? You don't have any armor potentially against this lineup. Agility doesn't help you in a defensive measure.
Absolutely
so
true.
Any damage reduction, which Spectre does have, or mischance is going to go a long ways.
Or the extra armor. Blade Mail gives you 7 armor. You took Dragon Scale as well. That's another 5. That's 12 armor going into the Spectre, who otherwise would be, you know, down at 8 or 7. Maybe you evaporate that with an ET getting on top of him with all the AoE control.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the idea here, and I mean, he's top of the board, so as long as you are top of the board with this hero, you're generally happy.
That's true. The Radiance is probably going to keep him there.
Big smoke
helping
from
him
Liquid.
farm even faster. Liquid.
They want to use this mid ward. They see a lot right now. They can get there in time and get the jump. Still have Aegis on this Shaker.
Moving into the mid lane.
So they're going to be content with just forcing them off the map and letting Saberlight hit this tier 2 top with the summons.
Yeah, they just continue to have such a massive tower advantage. They haven't lost a single tower.
The lead is stabilized, though.
That's true.
Paravision are not losing too much on the map. They're continuing to trade out camps. They are also continuing to get this mid wave in, which is the most important thing for them on the map, because it's continuously chipping this mid tier 1, which is just going to go down here to no one with the last hit. So honestly, I don't know if they've minded the last few minutes here. Game has really stabilized for them. They recovered a lot of the Drow Ranger farm. They haven't given up too many pickoffs to the Spectre ultimate, and they have some decent vision to play around. If you look at these Dire wards, still is Dire ward on the Radiant side of the map near that mid lane.
And there is something to be said about the limited Liquid gold advantage. A lot of it is from taking those towers. So Paravision can take those towers, that tower advantage back into their favor. They took the mid tower, now they're going to take bottom. It's going to be a lot of gold flowing back in for them. They lose their tier 2 with top, so it is still a lead for Liquid in that regard.
Two tier 1s for that tier 2 though. When you have this big AoE scaling teamfight lineup with a Drow.
And you're matched up against the Aegis. This was 5 minutes of the Aegis where Liquid lost on the gold.
Yeah, Paravision are very happy with the last few minutes here. They can get to some big defensive items in this game. Their team fight's going to come alive. And it's going to be harder for Mickey to get in there and just burst a hero down. We already saw the Hurricane Pike completed for the Drow. BKB on the Magnus would be another huge one they can eventually get to it. And BKB for the Earth Spirit, no one's closing in on it here. He is not that far off. Give him a 1. In fact, he just had it on the Courier. So that is done. That's a huge item for them right now. And they're grouping up mid. Gonna smoke. Off to Collis, looking for the team fight. Send that Earth Spirit in first. Let him create the chaos and the havoc. And that will set up the AoE control from the RP and the Echo Stomp coming through afterwards. Do not want to clump in this game if you are Liquid. The second you clump versus lineup, you are absolutely doomed. And you got to keep in mind, you don't have the BKBs yet to commit into that AoE, right? It's a different story if you have BKBs across the board.
Nice snipe there. Got the Courier. That was Mickey's Radiance. That's delayed a full 3 minutes.
That is a brutal loss. Farming rate for the Spectre, your team fight out the window. Smoke from Paravision doesn't land. Liquid dodge it on the map, but they're also just not getting the pickoffs with the Spectre I think you would want. You know, just continually ramp that pace up. Continue to find the pickoffs here with this Beastmaster Spectre lineup. Do finish the Ags on the Shaker, so Nisha Scale continues to pour in here.
Look at Saberlight. He's making a move for the Wisdom Rune right now.
He wants some kind of objective.
It seems
still
like
this Tormentor here too.
Yeah. Liquid had set up shop in the top part of the map, the left side, with the mines, with the Beastmaster presence, with even their wards.
Yeah, Boxy
But now Liquid are relocating to the right-hand side. Saberlight has snatched away the Wisdom Rune. Now being saved. No one has to pop his BKB. Primal Roar. Mickey wants to commit to it, but he immediately gets stopped. Now an Earth Splitter coming in. They're skewered together. RP together. 2 cores locked in. And Nisha jumps in for the Echo Slam and finishes them. 3 dead. Chrysalis is low. Can he push forward? All these heroes are low. It's going to be 9 Class. He tries to get something out of it. It's Mickey. Get that hit on Mickey. Come on, 9 Class. You can do it. A little bit more. A Shadow Realm. He's disappeared. He doesn't have the vision. He can't see him. He's not going to be able to get him.
Oh, what a bailout. And the tip comes through as Nisha absolutely styles on Paravision in a fight that looks so good for them. They get to land all their big AoE. They get to control multiple cores. It's the Earth Spirit who's the first point of contact, but you got that BKB off. None of it means a damn when the Echo Slam comes through and just takes all that advantage away. And I thought the stun on Nisha, was it going to ruin that fight for Liquid? The answer is no. He just has enough tank and damage to power through all of it. And the cherry on top, blocking off the vision from 9 Class, who wanted to get that last right click in. I don't know if it would have finished off Mickey, but we will never know. As the tree plant from the branch came through, the 20-minute branch plant.
Mickey, this kid just seems untouchable at this tournament. He has gone to another level.
Absolutely.
In this run.
I mean, he is out to prove he's the best carry in the world right now. Haters be damned. He's having another fantastic game here on another hero that we haven't seen that much, but he's willing to play, right?
Yeah.
He's had a super varied hero pool this event, where a lot of people are maybe criticizing him. Do you play heroes like the Alchemist and you don't, and that's a disadvantage?
Yeah.
Screw your Alchemist, man. I'm gonna play Anti-Mage. I'm gonna play Spectre. I'm gonna play my Furion.
Yeah, when we talk about what makes the greatest carries in the game, right? When we talk about Yatoro, when we talk about Pure, one of the big things is, can you vary your gameplay?
Exactly.
Right? Can you play hardcore carries? Can you play fast, aggressive tempo carries, right? Can you step up when you need to get that extra bit of whatever is missing in the draft? And Mickey, he has certainly showed that. Certainly one of the most agile of carries in that regard, able to change it up whenever it's needed. Paravision down 9K right now, but did not give up their Tormentors, so that's going to be nice. They do get that for 9 Class.
In fact, I think it's a trait Crystallis shares. If you look between these two carries, I think he's also one of these carries that's been underrated for a long time in his versatility. This is a guy that can take over the early game, carry the mid game, and go ultra late with a lot of his hero pool that he's arguably the best on the world in some of these heroes, right?
Oh, yeah. Funny enough, I think the only person who maybe touches his razor is Mickey.
Or ATF, probably have a word.
Well, out of the carry position, right?
Well, I still argue ATF is in there.
True.
Though I think even ATF would say he watches Crystallis' Razor to learn
He said
from
exactly
him.
that. He says, you know, when I need to learn what the build is for Razor, it's go to this guy.
Greats copy
Crystallis.
And he's getting some farm on this drought. You know, the whole while we've been talking, even that team fight, he's the guy on the outskirts, doesn't pay the big price, so he does have some fighting items available. 2 defensive items in his pike, plus the Shadow Blade. But it's another Roshan going into Liquid's pocket here, and I just don't think this is contestable. You're too late to the party. That Radiance is done. BKB available for Nisha on the Shaker as well will guarantee his initiations, unless you land some incredibly clutch RP on the Shaker to interrupt the combo, which sounds really difficult.
Yep. And I think that's something that Team Liquid are going to have to keep in mind. This Paravision team, they've made some crazy comebacks at this tournament. They got here in the grand finals in the first place by turning that game 2 around on BetBoom. And they have some very good scale and some very good high ground defense. It's a Drow Ranger mag lineup. Going up and hitting those buildings is not going to be easy.
I mean, it's Drow Ranger mag. It's also Elder Titan, Earth Spirit, Dark Will. I would argue all 5 of these heroes are really obnoxious to go high ground against. It's going to be something Liquid have to think about and pick the right time to try and accomplish it. And ideally, you want to fight outside of Paravision's base, get the pickoffs that lead into the high ground, not just force it heads up. Because, yeah, we've seen time and time again, the strength of this Magnus hero is stalling out games, winning those high ground defense fights, and all of a sudden you're stuck in this 50, 60-minute game against the hero who's outscaling you, and you start to feel a little bad. That, to me, has been the weakness of Shaker this event. Now, this is not a one-position Shaker, so you're not as dependent on him to literally carry the game.
Sure.
But this hero can have problems in the ultra late. particularly when heroes tank up and you get things like Arcanist armor coming through and, you know, Giants Ring, these HP pools get out of control.
Yeah.
This hero's damage can fall off sometimes.
Nightclass shows himself trying to clear out the mid wave. Liquid, we're very ready for that one.
Paravision continuing to dodge right now. Did get the BKB on their Magnus, so all of their cores in theory have the items they need to take a head-on fight. Are you confident enough to do it into Aegis? And what's Liquid's read on that situation? Is this a situation where you want to just force that high ground straight up? You did commit for a pipe on this Beastmaster.
Boxy made the call. He said they're over here in this corner of the map. Called for Insania and him to make a move to try and root it out. Saberlight met them with the TP. But Paravision, good read, get out of the area just in time.
I mean, they would love to catch heroes outside the Dire base right now, and you always have to keep that shadow step in mind. You can commit a lesser amount of heroes to these moves than you normally would have to, as the Spectre can always make that rotation. And you're seeing the clump from Paravision right now. They just haven't been able to split up on the map too much, as the lead continuing to grow here for Liquid.
Nightclass, you could see the paranoia creeping in. Pump faking the terrorize, never sure when Liquid's gonna jump them at any moment's notice. It could be an Echo Slam, followed up by Mickey jumping in. These kills are going to happen fast, and Paravision need to be on their toes.
Big item for the Drow, though. Silver Edge, break mechanic, going into the Spectre, going into even the Shaker. Sometimes it can be pretty impactful. A lot of passes to break in this game if you can land that big hit, particularly on some stun targets, just burst them down. We're starting to see the team fight items come together for Paravision right now, and this Aegis running out. 2 minutes on the clock. You would really like to use this second life on Mickey to get a team fight going right now.
They're gonna smoke up here, and they're gonna go down the side of the map.
Oh,
now,
they're gonna
Mickey.
go on the Spectre. This is not a move Liquid expect.
Oh, no, they don't. They're on the other side of the map right now. They are far and away from Mickey. Mickey, who's setting up on the Wisdom Rune, will find that it's a full 5-man team coming his way. No one. He's spooked, instantly pops the BKB,
They're
and
hesitant.
they don't actually want to go for it.
Paravision, too afraid of Liquid's response, even though he was completely alone.
They had the right read, or maybe they didn't. It would have been the right time. I mean, Liquid would have gotten there, and they would have taken a fight for sure.
But to not even commit for the first life,
Yeah.
that just feels a little too scared to me. Granted, you did not know where this Shaker was, right? That's what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
You commit in, you're clumping to take this Aegis down, you're giving Nisha a lot of potential openings there. They felt like that was not worth killing this Aegis that's going to expire in the next 2 minutes anyway. Conservative play, but not necessarily the incorrect one right now, as they will purchase up a gem from Ducalis and look to regain some map control when this Aegis expires. But man, you look at the map right now, 5 heroes in Dire base. No vision to play around.
Yeah, they 5-man escort Crystallis to some creep camps. They farm 2 camps, then they scurry back into their base. It feels like nerves
too
are
defensive.
heavily hitting Paravision on the grand final stage.
You can concede some ground, but you cannot concede this much. You have to find ways to stay out on the map, get some lanes in, get some information. Yeah, you are playing against the Spectre, and that makes the pickoff game incredibly terrifying. You don't want to give up those big pickoffs. So, again, it's a bend, don't break situation. Yeah, you can give up some net worth lead here, wear this Aegis out, and still win the team fight. But you're going to have to pick your point very wisely. They do finish up the Shivas on no one. That's another big team fight item coming through. And they will smoke up. 5-man smoke. Issue with these smokes is you're smoking 5-man out of your base with no vision and no lanes. These are very easy moves to read and counterplay if you're Liquid. I say that as Nisha.
Oh, Nisha would have been a great pickup, but he's already blinked back.
Doesn't have haste
Vision. Smoke breaks on 9-class. He blinks forward. He's looking for something. They know the heroes. They're out there somewhere, but they cannot reach them. And Mickey, he's going to turn around. He jumps in. RP, what an illusion. Mickey, he jumps back into play to finish him off. What a dodge. DM, he gets the skewer back in. Will be able to finish off Saberlight. He gets that much more. Meanwhile, Crystallis, they didn't have the vision for him. In the trees. No, they spotted him now. Hit him with the enchant totem. Send him flying.
Stolen gem. Mickey picks it up as Ducalis' gem works against him and helps him get the vision for the Drow. And the second that jump goes bad, the second you run into a couple mines there, that team fight's just way too easy for Liquid. Send the Spectre in. Not an easy target to go on. The RP missed Mickey when he shadow stepped in. I honestly might have shadow stepped back out and in again and dodged it.
I think he did. He definitely shadow stepped out. The question of whether or not he jumped in after the RP or as it landed, it was very close. Either way, it worked for him.
I don't even know if the damage follow-up would have been there on that RP. You were getting fissure blocked off on the Drow.
Yeah,
no BKB for Crystallis really hurt him in that fight.
You 100% need that break on the Spectre if you want to be able to kill her quickly. He's got the 20 talent. He's got the extra HP. See it jump in here.
He just jumped in after. That RP was a little early. But you're looking at this Drow Ranger on the side, right? He's getting stunned up. Might got Echo Stomped from Insania and slept up, I think. And either way, it's just Nisha hunting him the whole time.
Meanwhile, back in real time, we did have a pick off on the Dark Willow. It's just a one
stolen RP. That's what it was. Insania with the big plays because he still has it here.
Yep. And he's ready to go with the Blink Dagger too. Didn't have to use it on the Dark Willow kill. All that required was a telekinesis and a Spectre Shadow Step in.
This is not the spell you want to give away in this type of game. Because Insania will gladly go into RP a couple of heroes. In fact, there it is. Magnus, see you later.
One stun is all it takes. RP is a pretty good one.
And this is the type of game where Spectre feels like the most broken hero in Dota, because when a single Rubik can set up a core kill like that, the rest of the team's just farming, getting the lanes in. How do you play the map? It becomes near impossible. You have to just clump, you have to group, and every time you do that, you lose out in the economy battle. 16K gold lead here for Liquid. They've blown this game open, and their top two cores are incredibly strong right now.
And he's working on an Aghanim Scepter next, so we're going to see that the Haunt come back into play. So he is looking to reveal every member of Paravision, make their team fight a lot harder. In particular, the Mag, right? One of the big things about the old school Haunt was that its damage global, and you know that might screw up your initiation. The Mag might not be able to get that Blink RP he was hoping to when he saw the opportunity, but gets pinged with a bit of damage from the Spectre.
Yeah, this Haunt is debilitating for these Blink teamfight lineups. The downside of it is it's a really long cooldown. You're still looking at 160 seconds on this Exalt, so you're investing in an item with a really long cooldown on a hero that can function on really low cooldown. But you already went back for the Orchid here. You have a lot of single target DPS, and I mean, you're just so far ahead, you can almost buy anything at this point.
Yeah. Next item, Crystallis is going to try and get BKB. I'll go a long ways for protecting him in these fights.
He needs it just to output damage.
Yeah.
This is not even a BKB for survivability. It's one where you have the BKB so you're not getting chain stun, so you can actually hit people that are getting RP, because that's the biggest issue.
You gotta be careful up here. The RP! It's back up again! Insania finds his mark. RP into telekinesis, chain stun. No one gets off the BKB and does mantra roll away. The Spectre jumps out. Before the terrorize, it's all illusions, guys! None of that is real, except for Mickey, who shadow steps after no one. Doesn't get him with the dagger, though. A cute, nifty little play. Mickey just breaking ankles everywhere.
If he'd been able to land another dagger or a couple more hits, he gets that kill even after the BKB from no one. Absolutely styling on them right now. And yeah, Paravision, you got to get something going in this game, because you are losing at a tremendous rate right now, and all this team fight isn't worth a damn if you can't ever use it. 5-man smoke, another 5-man smoke out of the Dire base.
They use their Haunt. It's on cooldown. It's something to think about.
They want Roche here.
Oh, but they're running into mines.
Yeah,
let's see if Liquid...
So many mines on the map, it gets instantly pinged out.
Yeah, Fox, he's right in the line. He's like, guys, they're in this river. They know what's coming. Boxy spotted, but he's already through the gate. Tukalas can't stop him. And there's no way you're going after him.
Absolutely no way. The map control here from Liquid has been impressive.
Oh my god, Nightclass is almost dying to mines.
Just so much you have to fight through. The lane's constantly getting shoved in from the Beastmaster summons. I mean, look, there's a Black Dragon killing your mid wave right now. Like, guys, somebody has to get these lanes out. You have to deal with the vision. You have to deal with the summons. You have to deal with the techies mines. All of these elements can be followed up by a simple Rubik's stun into Shadow Step kill.
To call his cute play, he's going to send his spirit through the gate, give him some vision, check inside the Roshan pit. Now, Roshan is going to spawn now, and Liquid are going to know about it because the mine's going to go off. So Boxy or somebody on Liquid will notice that the mine is gone.
Honestly, though, you were talking about the Ag's Haunt debilitating some of the Blink jump. These techies mines have also just completely ruined Paravision's ability to force the team fights.
Yep.
These heroes do not enjoy running through them. They don't have any real illusions to throw into the mines to kind of get rid of them. They just have to tank it straight up.
A third Roshan for Liquid. All of these have gone uncontested.
They are just on another level right now, and they're controlling the pace of this game, controlling the objectives. It'll be an Ag Scepter Roshan. We'll see who is the lucky recipient, and looks like Saberlight. I mean, he's the only core without it.
Yeah, the other two cores have bombed their own Aghanim Scepters, so now Saberlight, he's going to catch back up to the other cores. Look at the net worth now.
Welcome
all three
to the party.
cores, all Liquid.
They still have a Roche banner to work with as well. This push is coming. AC on the Earthshaker here. Unconventional Earthshaker mid item, but
I like it.
it's going to help the Ore game a lot more. This 5-man ball from Liquid is getting absolutely out of control here. Still have that pipe on the Beastmaster from earlier, and now you finished up that Helm of the Overlord, so you can get a big creep, join the fray as we saw that Black Dragon, but you find a Granite Golem in this game, you're going to be super happy. This push is coming. Yeah, you have Magnus to drag a hero deep. You have the damage to finish that hero off.
You deal with the dragon. It's so annoying. Saberlight just he found another one. The lanes are always pushed in, whether through mines or the Fateful spam or the dragon push that's happening. Liquid, they're not having to show any heroes, and it's giving Paravision very little to work with as a result. So the only thing that is really left, if these 5-man smokes do not connect, is wait for Liquid to go high ground. And Liquid are refusing to oblige.
I mean, 99% of the time, waiting for the enemy team to go high ground is just not a winning game plan. You have to make a move at some point. They do get the BKB on the Drow. They're scraping together a couple more core items here. But every time they do that, something bigger comes out on that Liquid side. And full Bloodthorn done for the Spectre. This is when this hero just becomes absolutely terrifying. You Shadow Step in Bloodthorn, somebody drop the Mantis, you can instantly jump back out, and that hero is still dead. If they don't have a Dispel, a Disjoint, whatever it is, you're just stuck there fighting illusions.
Yeah, literally, Ducalis could die at any time. Mickey, he opts to go for DM. Nisha jumps in front of the Skewer, hits him with the Echo Slam, follow up and Chain Totem. Chain's done, he's already dead, and now chasing for more. Crystallis and the rest of Paravision have backed up to the high ground here. They will limit their losses to 1, but Liquid, they can keep expanding that kind of play every 2 minutes. It looks like they want to go for high ground, though. After all, the Magnus was their most fearsome foe when it comes to going for that high ground push in the first place. They did not want to get relocated deeper into the base.
And there's no buyback available for DM, so this high ground is completely open to Liquid right now. That is the best hero they could have found the pickoff on. Get all their BKB control too.
Poke away at Mickey here. See if they can break in, take away that Aegis. They need a little bit more, but Saberlight jumps onto the Drow Ranger, and the follow-up is there from Liquid. Diving in deep to the base to get the kill on the carry. They back away as the Magnetize mounting up. No one. Uh-oh, he got Bloodthorn now. Mickey has jumped back in after him with the Shadow Step. Now he's going to be telekinesis tossed back into Mickey, and he's dead. 1 core turns to 2, 2 turns to 3, and Liquid will have their first lane of barracks and pushing for more.
Stolen Cursed Crown from Insania, turning the Dark Willow spells against Paravision as they wait for their Magnus to respawn. There's just nowhere to run, nowhere to hide right now, as every jump stun is a guaranteed kill, and all you got for it was that Aegis. No one down for 50 seconds, does have buyback available. You do not have buyback on this Drow, however. Again, Paravision, they just have to invest in every item they can.
We saw the damage. It looked a little nice there. Crystallis broke the Spectre. Oh, there's the attempted Skewer back. Olé! Nisha dodges that one with the BKB, and now a second lane of barracks is on the table while they still are waiting for the Drow Ranger, their only hope to stop Mickey's Spectre.
Have to find another Skewer.